Sony and big changes to their business.
Yeah, the Japanese firm is to cut over 5,000 jobs and expects to post a loss of more than $1 billion for the year to the end of March. It's a massive turnaround in fortunes for the company, which only last October had forecast a profit for the year of around $300 million. The company says it's to sell off its Vio PC business to a private equity firm and will now focus its business more on smartphone and tablets. It's also going to hive off its loss-making TV business into a separate unit. Now, it's blamed the loss on declining sales, but did manage to make an operating profit of almost $900 million for the last 3 months of 2012 after strong performance of its financial division.
OK, next up, markets.
Things look a bit brighter on the Asian markets today. Despite a rise in the value of the yen, the Nikkei has closed just down slightly in Tokyo, down 0.2%. Markets in mainland China still closed for the New Year holiday, but the Hang Seng managing to make some gains. Over in Australia, things are up over 10%, up over 1%. That would be a shock. Markets up over 1% after posting a surprise trade surplus for December.
Everybody's been all over it for the last couple of years, Twitter, but is it star waning? Some pretty disappointing results.
The Twitter honeymoon might be over. The company lost $645 million in 2013. Most of that loss, in fact, incurred in the last 3 months of the year, just after, of course, it's floated on the stock exchange back in November. Now, that's worried investors, but also worrying them is the fact that the number of new users joining Twitter has slowed down. Shares in after-hours trading plunged by more than 10%. Charlotte Hawkins has more.
Fewer new users and they're checking their feeds less often. The rate of people joining Twitter fell to less than 4% over the last 3 months of 2013, the slowest rise on record. And the Twitterati are becoming less active, checking the service less often for new tweets. On top of the company's loss of $645 million last year, these figures have dimmed hopes the social network can sustain its rapid pace of expansion. Rival Facebook has 5 times more users than Twitter and managed to turn a profit of $1.5 billion last year. But Twitter's share price has often been higher. Before posting its results yesterday, it closed nearly $4 higher than Facebook.
Now that we have their first quarterly report as a public company, we think that people are going to dig into those a little bit more and start asking questions about whether Twitter has deserved the level of valuation that they've garnered over the last couple of months.
But it's not all bad news. Twitter's managed to double its revenue by boosting earnings from advertising. By placing adverts inside users' timelines, the company said it made almost $1.50 for every 1,000 timeline views. That's an increase of 76% from the previous year.
Quick look now at some of the day's companies' news, and Disney has posted a record-breaking profit for the last 3 months of 2013. $1.84 billion the company earned, up a third from the same period in 2012. Its success largely down to the animated film Frozen, which took in $865 million at the box office. That's even surpassed The Lion King as Disney's highest-grossing animated film. It's a happy turnaround for the company after its box office flop. The Lone Ranger lost at around $190 million last summer. New York's banking regulators demanded documents from 12 different banks as part of an inquiry into the manipulation of the foreign exchange market. Goldman Sachs, Deutsche Bank, Barclays and RBS are among the lenders affected. Authorities in the US, Britain, Switzerland, Hong Kong and other places are investigating the sector over suspicions traders may have used chat rooms to share information about their deals. And the British carmaker Aston Martin has recalled more than 17,000 cars over a fault with the accelerator pedals. The problem potentially affects 75% of vehicles built by the firm since 2008. Although the company says it's had no reports of any problems, it issued the recall after it emerged a Chinese supplier had used substandard plastic when making the pedal.
Finally, Stephen, yet another venture from brand Beckham.
Yes, David Beckham has announced he's to revive a failed soccer team in Miami. The Miami Fusion Club folded more than a decade ago in a part of the country which, of course, is mainly dominated by basketball fans. Beckham says he's already in discussions with the Miami-Dade County to lease some land to build a new 25,000-seater stadium. He says he wants to make it a Major League People's Club, but he'll need all the strength of brand Beckham to make it work. His partners in the venture include the TV producer that created American Idol, Simon Fuller, and the billionaire Marcelo Clora, who founded the world's largest wireless distributor, Brightstar, which is based in Miami. He's also got the backing, though, of NBA star LeBron James, so maybe he'll be able to pick up on some of that basketball fever there as well.
That's all we have time for on business. Thanks very much to Stephen Carroll.